Watch out! You're gonna crash! Ah! What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Franchise Unpacked. I'm your host, Zach.
And I'm your host, Dave.
I don't know why I said it like that, like Zach.
Dun-dun-dun.
it was very grand of me
It
this
was.
time. How you doing, Dave?
I'm doing well. How are you, Zach?
You know, I'm living the dream. I'm
Yeah.
sitting here with my feet kicked up.
It's so spooky outside already. Well, be paying attention, folks. There is a mini episode coming out next week.
Yep.
We just recorded that. So speaking of spooky things,
Yeah.
be paying attention. But I was leaving work. I don't
eerie.
leave work till 8. Sun is setting real quick now.
Yeah,
I love
yeah.
it. We're getting into
It's-
that fall time.
Which is
Feeling
probably my
good.
favorite. I mean, I love summer.
I'm less
I love
sweaty.
summer. Yeah,
And
exactly.
those bugs, they can all go right to hell. All the bees and spiders.
Oh,
can
yeah.
Just get out of
The
here.
bees especially, but I love when it gets closer to fall. We're not in fall yet.
Nope. I just
But-
heard it's not till September 20th. Even I get Labor Day kind of
Yeah.
ends it for like in everybody's mind because you gotta
Right.
go back to school and you got
this is like
for
a-
everybody back in school
This
for
is
all
a
of us,
busy month.
all the students who listen to us.
Yeah.
Welcome back. Back to
Yeah,
school.
what's up? And share any students listening to this. Share it
Yes.
with your friends. Put
Share
it on
it.
a bulletin board. Oh, tell us and we'll mail you a sticker.
Yeah.
We'll mail you a bunch of stickers.
We're not
man.
old at all.
Oh, is that-
Stickers.
is that for old people?
I just feel like we're old. Like kids, listen. I'm 31.
But
I can't tell kids to do stuff.
I can relate.
Yeah, I just can't do that.
What was that meme of like, hello, fellow students?
Hello,
or whatever. it is?
Hello, fellas, dude. Oh, you're with us, Steve Buscemi.
yeah. I forget.
He's wearing like a shirt that just says Rock Band
Yeah.
on it. And he's holding a skateboard.
Holding a
Hello, fellow students.
Oh my gosh. Is it students or kids? Like, hello, fellow kids, or something like that.
Something along those lines.
It's something dumb. But we're here. We're excited because this week, I'll be honest, I've been waiting for this episode for a long time. And I've been kind of waiting for the right time to do it. And as we were discussing possibilities, we were like, okay, well, it's probably about time to do it's probably about time to do another video game. What do we want to do? And classic Sonic the Hedgehog.
Almost as classic as Mario. I would say
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like if you say to anybody, you're like, name the video game mascot.
Right.
I would honestly tell you it could be a coin toss. It could
Yeah.
be a coin toss, but for people of our generation. Maybe the younger folks now
Right.
would say Mario because Sonic has kind of fallen by the wayside. And we'll get to that.
Yeah, well,
and I don't want to say downplay him, but he's
But he
stepped
really
out of the
was.
light.
He was created as that mascot. You know,
He was.
Sega wanted to compete with Mario.
And
You know,
I found
they-
out a fun fact about that. They had another mascot before Sonic. Did you?
Yes,
Alex Kidd.
Yeah, which I honestly didn't dive too
I'm
far
giving
into that,
Zach a
but-
big old shoulder
Yeah,
shrug right now
it's-
because you got me.
Right.
Did you look up a picture of him?
No, I didn't.
It's like a little anime character, and he's got like little monkey. He's like a little half monkey. It really reminded me of a Dragon Ball character, like when
Okay,
young
yeah.
Goku. Almost
Yeah.
like little kid Goku. It was kind of one of those, and he was like doing a little karate kick.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's interesting. I wonder like what those games were like. And
Right.
that was when 80s Sega. So that was before Sega really became Sega
Yeah, became a behemoth and
because of Sonic.
Well, and that was the thing is like, especially when Sonic dropped. I mean, I remember playing it on my brother's Genesis.
Yeah, history. What? Yeah, let's get into the history.
Yeah, so-
Like our usual format.
Right, yeah, exactly. Which
what-
is so funny to me. Quick side note: I love the fact that our format has evolved.
Oh, yeah.
Like if you go back and listen to our first episode, it was like boom, right out of the gate, facts.
And then all over the place.
Yeah, and now it's like we start all over the place and we just say, hey, where'd you come from? Where'd you go? Where'd
Yeah.
you come from, Sonic Eye Joe?
Sonic Joe. I was gonna say, wait a minute.
But yeah, so for me, it started off with my brother playing Sonic on the Genesis,
Okay,
and I loved that.
so you guys had a Genesis
Yes.
and a Nintendo
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. Which was
dual family.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, that's rare.
it is, and
It's rare.
and it was one of those things like we both loved, like my brother loved playing video games, and when I was a kid, I loved watching video games.
Me too.
So I think my parents just said, okay, if that's where our kids are going to be like shutting up for an hour every day, then
Rather not have them out smoking the crack.
right.
You know.
You guys should have seen the gesture that Dave just did. It was
Very-
like this little like old timey,
old timey. You know
But,
that crack smoking. And of course, older brothers were always better at video
Yes,
games.
yes.
Now, not so much.
Well,
No.
yeah, exactly.
He's still. I swear, my brother at our bachelor party, we took a couple Switches with us
Yeah.
to Denver, and we were playing Super Smash, and he whooped us all.
Really?
Like just still, and he plays Smash and stuff, but not to like the degree that I thought. Mike Dans, a former guest of the show, was also, him and Mike were like switching off victories, basically.
I don't know how good my brother is at games anymore. I know
calling him out.
I'm just saying, Ross, if you're listening, come at me, bro.
Yeah.
No, but I remember when we would play like Call of Duty and stuff, he killed it. But that was also 7 years ago.
Yeah, back in the day.
So I don't know. But anyway,
now we're all adults and we have jobs.
But the real thing that sold Sonic for me, and there's going to be some heat because of this, because it's contentious, was Sonic Adventure on the Dreamcast.
Oh, phenomenal.
So a lot of people dislike that game, which we'll get to, but my cousin...
They shouldn't.
Yes, I agree. But my cousin had a copy of it, and it was one of those things where for Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure 2, I would just go over to his place, or he would bring the Dreamcast over, and we would sit there and we would play it for hours and hours and days, and we would raise the chows, and we're going to get to that too. But that became such a pivotal experience for me. Like, it showed me what a game could be.
It got to the point where you guys probably didn't say anything. Like, you just knew what you were going to go play that day. Like,
exactly.
What are we doing today? Nope. You knew you were going to go.
It was Sonic and it was Mega Man Legends. Those were like the
Dave
two.
Simons, also former guest, he had the Sega Dreamcast first in the group, and then he had Sonic Adventure. And I remember him bring that over to my house. And
Incredible.
That and NBA Showtime and Power Stone Wars.
So what was your Sonic experience?
My Sonic experience is a little different than yours. Like you said, my brother, he's 4 years older than me. We mentioned Doug. He had it. He had a Game Gear before I did, the handheld system. And I believe that we got he got it in 92.
Right.
Something along, he would have been like 8.
I don't know why I said right. Like I knew what year
he would have been along, because Sonic came out in 91. And I remember that was the very first game he had for it. So I think it was like the following, maybe after Christmas that year or something.
Okay.
Or maybe, hell, he might have even gotten it in 91. But then I got a Game Gear, I think the following year, when I think I was either 4 or 5.
Okay.
And I just wanted to play, we wanted to play Sonic together. And I watched it. The Game Gear was so awesome because it was, at that point, way better than the Game Boys, because it was backlit, had the 16-bit, I think, color or something along those lines, 30, maybe, I don't know. It was, the sound was better.
It still didn't sell as well as the Game Boy.
It did not. No, Sega never ever could sell a system better than Nintendo. But the Genesis gave them a run for their money.
Yeah.
The Genesis, but then the Super Nintendo just came out and trounced that. But so I was just remember playing the original Sonic the Hedgehog side scroller and just loving it. And since then it's just kind of been always in the zeitgeist, always been in my mind, at least.
Well, in Sonic, I mean, it has a huge, rich history.
Yeah.
I mean, it started off as, the side scroller.
Which I found out a fun fact. The designer of the game, that game could have gone, you could go way faster in it. That game was supposed to go like twice as fast. You're running the speed, they could do it. He had to turn it down because he was getting motion sickness from it.
Really?
He said like you could still tell what was going on and it was fun, but like the blur, it was like making your eyes
too
vibrate.
much. Yeah.
Trying to focus on that small of a screen. And they said, we could crank that thing up and you go probably twice as fast. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it started off as a side scroller, and then it was hard for these video games when 3D came around. And Sonic always had a little touch of 3D to it.
It did. It had the ramps and the full circles, which make it feel like a roller coaster, and it gave a bit of depth.
And then you would get the levels like the collect the blue orbs or spheres.
Oh, yeah.
Which originally they did say collect blue balls.
Yeah.
But they had to change it, obviously.
Translation.
So now it's collect the blue spheres. But they had those sort of like fake 3D segments.
Yeah.
But that transition into 3D was tough for a lot of people because, you got Zelda transitioning to 3D. So you get Zelda going to Ocarina of Time.
Yeah, Mario.
They did it incredible. Mario going to Mario 64. They did it incredibly.
I mean, right there.
So the pressure was on. And I will say, for as much as I enjoyed Sonic Adventure, it was so buggy and glitchy. And that's kind of what the franchise is now known for. It's
how buggy it is.
It's infamous for its glitches and bugs. And I went back, I was playing Sonic. When you came over one day to record, I was playing Sonic Adventure just because I felt like playing it. I'm probably going to play it tonight. But there are parts of it that are really, really hard to stomach because you did everything right. You hit all the right button combos, but it's just buggy.
Yeah.
And you get stuck.
And the thing is too, when it made the transition into 3D, you're now dealing with rendering, draw space. And if you have a character who's meant to go just super fast, you've got to be loading objects and things into your view that much faster than like Mario ever had to do or Zelda ever had to do. I mean, and yeah, you go back and play any of those games and they are still 10 out of 10s. They did not have those glitches. They somehow of course, but not Sonic level. Right. Where it's like, you probably should have pushed this game back a couple more months.
Couple years.
Figured it out. You rushed it. And we kind of glazed over the first Sonic games. It's all side scroller, pretty much the same. Yeah, it was very revolutionary. You know, I liked them better back in the day. I liked them better than Mario. It was more fun than Mario. Yeah. You got your bad guy, Dr. Ivo Eggman, in quotes. Yeah.
Who was originally supposed to be a hero.
Yeah, Dr. Robotnik. You were supposed to play as him.
Well, he was supposed to be the good guy, and then obviously he's based on Theodore Roosevelt.
Oh, yeah.
Which you can kind of tell.
Obsession with hunting animals.
And his crazy mustache even looks like him. But so they turned him into the evil guy.
Yeah. And he will be played by Jim Carrey in the movie.
Yes. Which will be excellent
interesting
casting role.
Very interesting.
I think for Eggman, that's the perfect casting. I don't know how the movie's going to turn out, but I think that Jim Carrey... Yeah. He's going to have to carry that movie. Yeah. He's going to have to Jim carry that movie.
He already knows it too. Because it's already off. We'll get to it. It's already after a rough start. But yeah, with Sonic Adventure, I remember they made that transition into 3D and I was like, this is a really cool game. They added the voice acting. Yep. A lot of, in all my research I was doing for both Sonic Adventure games, there was a really heavy amount of info on music. Yeah. And there were famous Japanese rock bands that were involved.
Before we dive into the music, I don't mean to cut you off, but you mentioned voice acting.
Yes.
I think that was a bold move for them because a lot of these games that were, we got a phone down. A lot of these games that were transitioning to 3D did not go with voice acting. I mean, they might have a little clip of like goodness gracious.
Yeah, we are all verbal diarrhea tonight.
Of Princess Peach saying like, I baked a castle.
Yeah. Or I baked a castle.
I baked a castle.
And I always remember it.
It's arson.
Yeah, it's like, come meet me at the castle.
Right.
Peach.
Yeah, exactly. So they would have
and
that.
And then Bowser's, like a couple grumbles.
But
Ocarina of Time had no voices, just laughs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Sonic had full voiceover, which posed some problems. First of all, the voice acting was a little corny.
Oh, yeah.
But second of all, the timing of the translations didn't match.
Oh, no.
So you would get characters like, and you'll see this a lot in cutscenes, like Sonic will say, stop right there. I can see you there. And then at the exact same time, Shadow will say, I'm going to make you eat those words.
They didn't.
In Japanese, it was shorter.
Yeah.
Each character would speak for like a third of the time.
So probably the time slots were still replacing.
They dropped in the new audio. And so
that's bad editing.
It's full of characters just talking over each other.
Especially with cutscenes. Yeah. You can just load those.
And it happened all the way into Sonic Adventure 2. I mean, it was a little rough.
You see, that's the kind of thing you expect from a company that was not huge and didn't have American ties. That's like when you're like, guys, there's this great indie game that just came out. It's half translated. Yeah, sure. Makes
Earth
sense.
Defense Force.
This is Sega. Yeah, this is Sega. Like, what are we talking about?
It's time to glow up.
Like, what are we talking about?
So, but anyway, you were mentioning the music.
Yeah, the music. They had a lot of big rock bands come in, big composers, and I remember listening and like playing it at the first Sonic Adventure game and just being like, "This is rad!" Like they really amped it up. It makes you like really want to keep running around. The only thing we kind of mentioned Super Mario 64, and I'm going to base. You have to base these transitional games to that because it was clear like 3 years later after Mario 64, they're like, oh, we can do this with the side scroller. So let's attempt it with this. It didn't. And maybe it's just the game design. It didn't have the kind of the personality.
Right.
And the cool environment that I was hoping. It had environments, but like it was all kind of that like Neo City meets nature where it's like in Zelda, you go to literally different land types like frost and desert.
Well, and they definitely improved that with Sonic Adventure 2.
I don't think I really ever played 2.
No?
Not much.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so 2 had all these incredible areas. Like you could play in a city, in a desert, like ancient Egypt, underwater type levels. Like, and as you could play as Sonic and as Knuckles and Tails in a robot suit. Then you could play the dark side of the story, and so there was a lot going on. I'm getting pumped over here,
right?
But Sonic Adventure 2 also, in my opinion, had the better soundtrack. You start off dropping into, who can forget the Escape from the City, like the follow me, set me free, and you're like snowboarding down the pavement.
Yep.
So that's, and then they have like the spoiler alert, the huge boss battle at the end with the live and learn. That's my impression.
Man, there it is.
I'm going for it, man. But yeah, Sonic Adventure 2 solved a little bit more of that, I think. And on top of that, they also made the Chow Garden a little bit more accessible. Because I remember spending hours and hours and hours. I probably spent more time in the Chow Garden than I did playing the actual missions.
Oh, okay.
Did you ever play the Chow Garden at all, or
no?
Really? Not even in the first one?
I remember them. I remember it being there. It's just been so long.
Kind of like that side mission.
Yeah,
type,
I remember being in there. When in my reading too, they were saying that like with this jump to 3D was the definite decline.
Yeah.
Which I still love the games, but like it is. Yeah. When did Sega go under and sell assets?
Oh gosh, I don't remember the exact year. It was not too horribly long after the Dreamcast.
I want to say, it was probably 15 years ago, maybe a little longer than that.
And with that, I mean, they end up selling. Goodness gracious, I really can't talk today. Didn't they end up selling all the Sonic rights to Nintendo after that?
Most of them, yeah. He was sold all around because now you can find it. Now he is owned by Nintendo. I'm pretty sure because he's in all the Smash Brothers. He's in Sonic and Mario at the Olympics, all those kind of games. Super Striker. He's like an added character, basically.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he's solely on the Nintendo console. And so it's kind of how the mighty have fallen. Literally, to fight Mario, you then get absorbed by
actually,
him.
I don't know if it's solely on Nintendo. I do see a lot of like PlayStation, Xbox, that sort of thing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But this kind of brings us to. So I'm looking through. He's dying on
Hacking
camera, not on camera, on microphone. We're looking at like this list of games here. So after Sonic Adventure 2, there was Sonic Heroes, Sonic the Hedgehog, Shadow the Hedgehog, and then the infamous Sonic 06, Sonic the Hedgehog. Now, Dave, did you look into this a lot?
Oh no, I didn't.
Okay, so I have some things to say about this.
Sonic the Hedgehog, 2006.
So the Game Grumps, pretty famous YouTube channel, they played through this game and they didn't finish it. It is the glitchiest game that's probably ever been released. It's not finished.
I'll tell you right now, every single other entry leading up to that game.
Yeah.
And then every single one until 7 years later made over 1 million or sold over 1 million copies.
Yeah.
This one only sold 800,000.
Yeah.
Only.
Yeah. And the reason for that, so there was Sonic 06, I think was honestly would set sort of this negative precedence in the future because everything was glitchy. You could get stuck in infinite loops on boss fights. There's a scene, and if you guys do look up the Game Grumps videos, be forewarned, it's a very raunchy channel. But they show gameplay of them fighting like Silver. I forget what his name is, Silver the Hedgehog or something.
Yeah.
And you can get stuck where he'll attack you, you'll lose a ring, and then you'll regain that ring, and then you'll go to attack him, or you'll fall. He'll attack you, you'll lose the ring, you'll suck that ring back up, and you can't do anything, and you're just stuck there literally until you reset the game. So there are a lot of sort of those game-breaking bugs and that sort of thing.
I'm looking at other statistics that are just shocking. So the original... Okay, so there's the Mario and Sonic series, which are all Olympic game series.
Right.
So the very, very first one, 2007, that's when Sonic came over first, sold 11.3 million copies. The next one at the Winter Olympics sold 6.5 million copies. In 2011, the London 2012 game sold 3.28 million. And then they went to Sochi in 2014. It only sold 65,000 units in Japan.
No way.
Then in 2016, the Rio games with Mario and Sonic only sold 430,000 in Japan.
That's rough. Those are low numbers
even
for
with
video games,
Mario's help, even with Nintendo's bolstering help, you cannot You can't save it.
And I'm just going to kind of rattle these off really quick. So after Sonic 06, we had Sonic and the Secret Rings, Sonic Unleashed, Sonic and the Black Knight, Sonic Colors, Sonic Generations, Sonic Lost World, and Sonic Forces. Now, in a lot of these games, there are glitches galore. There's one,
That's too many cooks
I
in the
had it
kitchen.
written down. I don't remember offhand, but one of the Sonic games, you could pause. If you were jumping as Knuckles, you could pause mid-jump and then re-jump and break the game. You could jump over everything in the game. You could,
Oh my gosh.
within the first week that it came out, somebody figured out how to beat the entire game in under an hour using that glitch.
That's terrible.
Like in the first week. And when
that's back in the day when you couldn't patch things and update them and fix those
they
sort of
did
stuff.
send a patch.
Oh, okay.
So they put a patch through, but it was like a 3 gigabyte patch because they had to basically rebuild all of the levels, and it still didn't fix the Knuckles glitch. It only fixed, like, I think there was something that was weird with Tails too, where you could get some speed boost, I think, but it didn't fix everything, which I was just like, oh my goodness, like if you're gonna do it, do it.
Do you know Tails' full name?
Miles Tails per hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Which is lovely because it's just miles per hour.
Miles per hour.
But it did become infamous for these glitches. We're not trying to crap all over Sonic here. I love the games.
No, but I mean, you have to talk. There's no way not to discuss it.
Right. Another important part of the franchise was the Archie comics, which was toward the beginning a lot more. I mean, I think they might still be going. I'd have to...
Archie comics?
The Sonic ones, yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I don't believe so. I was reading into it. I don't think any of the comic books are still.
I'll have to check because Sonic has such a huge following that I wouldn't be surprised if it still was.
Sure.
And somebody actually might have replied. We have to do a quick Reddit credit.
We do Reddit credit.
Because we had a huge outpouring of responses on there. But yeah, in those comics, I mean, there was it was mostly like a lot of backstory for these characters. So you kind of see the origin of Amy.
Oh yeah, Knuckles and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, and I know that Knuckles was in a few earlier games as well. I just wanted to touch on the comics. Unfortunately for this franchise, that was one thing that just because of how many comics there were, we didn't have enough time, honestly, to go and dig into all of those because we were so into the video games, which I think makes sense for this. The video games are kind of the showrunner for Sonic. But I mean, what did you see? Like, did you ever read the comics at all? Or
No,
not at all.
I really didn't.
Okay,
no, I kind of didn't even know they existed until today when I was doing the research this morning.
Right.
I only knew I was into like the television show.
Yes, which is also
cartoon.
Pretty big.
That was awesome. And do you know who voiced Sonic?
No.
Jaleel White, who is
Urkel.
Yeah, Urkel is the voice of Sonic. Yeah.
I did not. I feel like I did know that at some point.
Yeah,
but I kind of forgot.
And he was in they had him cameo. He played him in Wreck-It Ralph too, because they had Sonic cameo in this. Yeah, it was Jaleel White. I was like, oh, that's great.
So I mean, Sonic it has this huge, rich history. TV show, comic, games, and it does have a lot of like weirdly intricate backstory. Like I was watching Did You Know Gaming? They had 1,000 episodes on Sonic, but if you look at Maria Robotnik, so Eggman's cousin,
okay,
but she had contracted NIDS, which is AIDS. It was AIDS. Like they just changed it to NIDS instead of AIDS.
AIDS,
and it was like it was based. Oh, you know what? It was in a Japanese strategy guide that they mentioned it. I of course, if I would have read ahead to my own notes, I would have seen that. But that's what led to a research on like Robotnik researching immortality, which led to Robotnik creating Shadow, the Hedgehog. So
okay.
So there's kind of this weird backstory to Shadow where his cousin had Sonic universe AIDS. And then, somehow led him to researching Shadow. But it's like, and that even made it into the Archie Comics storyline.
That's crazy.
And I'm just thinking, like, it's nuts that they've gone that deep with this story. In my opinion, just make it a freaking blue hedgehog that runs fast. That's all we need.
The only backstory I knew of Sonic was that he was an experiment.
Yeah.
And he escaped. He's one of Robotnik's experiments, I think, and now he's running back.
That's all you need to know. Like, collect the rings, and there you go.
Get those chaos gems or whatever.
So I guess that kind of brings us into the present of the franchise, which we wanted to save some extra time for the present on this one, because goodness gracious.
Oh, boy.
This movie.
I don't have high hopes.
No.
I do not have high hopes. It, for those of you who aren't aware, there was recent huge backlash once they revealed the character design. They showed a trailer.
Yeah.
And as soon as people saw Sonic, and you can go online, if you haven't seen it, look up what he was going to look like.
Yeah, look up the trailer.
Look up the trailer, and you can watch this trailer, and you will be offended. And it's weird looking.
Yeah.
It's really weird looking. And then they had so much backlash, they had to push the movie back. It doesn't come out now till February 2020. It was supposed to come out November this year, but it won't be about till February because they have to go back and completely redo his look.
Yeah.
They have to redesign him, which is tough. If you're an animator, they better be paying triple. Ben Schwartz will be voicing.
Which is awesome.
John Ralphio from Parks and Rec, for those of you who don't know. Jim Carrey is playing the Eggman, who we mentioned earlier. James Marsden is playing like the audience's way, and he's probably the main character.
Yeah.
He's like a police chief or something.
Right.
And he'll be partnered with Sonic.
The human that connects.
He's the audience's way.
But the design of Sonic was so like weirdly human.
Ew.
Yeah, it did not look good.
It was super creepy. I remember when they showed that silhouette and he had like buff legs. I was like, what is this?
Yeah.
Get out of here. But yeah, so that's kind of, I don't know if there are any current games in production, anything coming out with the movie. I don't have high hopes because it looks, it's a video game movie about a supersonic hedgehog, but like, it doesn't even look like they're trying. Like, I guess
don't even know. My thought is, and this will sort of bring us into the future, I wish that they would just make a video game make Sonic Adventure 3. Yeah. But make it right. Follow, I think, Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure 2's formula, or even just Sonic Adventure 2's formula. Give us a Chow Garden, So, yeah, I guess, while we're kind of getting into the future, that the present, I guess, I said we wanted to save extra time for it, but it's
the movie.
It's the movie, and it's not looking great. So I guess we'll use some of that extra time for the future.
Yeah.
What would you want to see out of the future?
Like you said, another great full 3D game, but also do what Mario's doing, have awesome side-scrolling parts and switch it up. Make Sonic jumping in and out of dimensions or something, or realities. Put him in.
I think Sonic Generations did that a little bit.
Okay.
Where you could play as like vintage Sonic or classic Sonic or whatever.
For sure.
And they had a few different like level types. But I agree, switching that perspective could be a lot of fun.
And there should absolutely 100% be multiplayer. You should be able to design your own animal with his own abilities.
So in the latest, I think in Sonic Forces, you could design your own character.
Okay, cool.
So they did that. And it's tough. You guys, in researching this, we're sure that there's a lot that we've missed because there have been so many games.
And it's those ridiculous names of like, okay, KO, let's go be heroes.
Right.
Like crap like that. You're just like, what is this game?
So in Forces, you can make your own character, but all of the Sonic games have seemed rushed lately.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not trying to dog on Sonic because I do enjoy them when I play them, but I would love to see a Sonic game where they take a full production cycle and really pour everything they have into it.
It's confusing. Like they've sold off all these rights to developers who are far more capable, clearly.
Right.
But is it still their development teams that got sold off or what?
So there is still Sonic Team.
Okay.
And that's like, they spearhead everything. And
maybe there needs to be some overhaul on the Sonic
we need
team.
to talk to Sonic
goodness.
Team. And the thing is, the frustrating part of it is that they're clearly not bad at making video games. Yeah. But it seems like they're rushing. It seems like they skip the debug mode and they just jump right to, okay, we're releasing it. And I think if they took the time, I guess I shouldn't say that because even the earlier Sonic games, there were plenty of bugs and things like that. But I would just love to see a little bit more detail put into a game and make it. Honestly, I would even be okay seeing a combo Sonic Adventure 1 and 2, totally revamped voice acting, totally revamped levels, just remake it.
Yeah.
Remake it from the ground up.
Did you know the most recent game, this is for the president of the franchise. The most recent game is called Team Sonic Racing, and they're driving cars.
Yes. Why? What
are we even doing?
You can run.
That's like making Superman fly a plane.
Right.
Superman has to get his pilot license before we can play this game. That is, but anyway, back to that. Yeah. That right. I looked at that and I just shook my head. It's that kind of thing. I feel like they just sold the rights and now he's just being scrapped. They're just stripping him for everything he's worth. And it's just being handed off to multiple, even though there's a Sonic team, it's being handed off to multiple different types of developers. because a racing game team is not going to make me a 3D adventure game.
Which is going to be different than the Olympics games.
Yeah. So you can tell it's just that, it sounds like they're just trying to hold on to rights. Like they almost have to, like the Spider-Man Sony Disney issue. Sony had to keep making films or something, or else it would fall out and then someone could swoop it and pick it up.
So I think there's a lot of stuff going on behind the curtain with Sonic Team that we don't know about yet necessarily. But I would love to see, a fully fleshed out game. And then honestly, with this movie, I'll give the movie a chance.
Oh yeah, I'll see it.
I really, really hope though that they fix up this Sonic design. So far, we haven't seen anything new.
I think I saw like a concept idea, and it's very much like the eyes are linked like the cartoon.
Right.
It
a
looks
lot
like
of those though are just
CGI
it's just fan art. It's people that go on and they're saying like, "Hey, I can create this same."
True. From what I gather, though, they're like, we are going to push for closer to
yes,
that. They have to,
which they should. I mean,
it's a cartoon.
Yeah, exactly. Make it a Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Like we understand that this is a cartoon hedgehog in a real world. I'm okay with it being a little bit goofy.
We just had Detective Pikachu.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing?
Look how great that did.
I'm very cool with every, like, Sonic being, like, obviously the special because he can talk and run around and stuff. But, like, any other animal, make them also CGI. Put the people in a world like Pokemon. You ground them in this world so he doesn't look so weird, And, like, I mean, I don't know. They might have that as an idea.
I will say, though,
we'll see Tails and Knuckles and all that.
I'm just a little bit perplexed by why they're making a Sonic movie because, to me, Sonic is all about the speed of it. It's about finding, and even in adventure, when you're not doing fast levels, there's assuming you don't hit too big of a glitch, there's kind of this flow state that you enter where, things are quick and you're collecting coins and there's this gratification. I don't know how they're going to translate that to a movie.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know how many times I can see a POV shot of like rushing past me. And then also like I know we're going to see a lot of still shot, him zipping around a room in one take while humans and other people are reacting to it. That'll be exactly what it is. Yeah. I'm wondering, they got so much backlash for the Sonic design, had to take it back. I bet they realized, like, guys, Knuckles and Tails and everyone's in this movie too, and they look as equally freaky. Right. We've got to do a full overhaul. It's not, I don't think it's just Sonic. The good news for their team is... And for those of you who aren't like super familiar with like the film industry, I sounded weird when I said that, like industry. But whenever they release a trailer for a movie, they haven't done the CGI for the whole movie. No. They've only done the CGI for those scenes in the trailer. And oftentimes it will be less good. Far less good, or they'll even be hiding things. Disney's infamous for it. So my thought is, that at least saves them. They only have to fully redo those scenes, and they can hopefully just plug in, whatever. When he's the main character. Yeah. It's a lot of scenes. Yeah. The toughest thing is going to be fixing eye lines. If somebody's supposed to be looking at Sonic's eye line, they're going to have to find a way to make him the same height. They'll probably play with dimensions, like his head will be bigger, but body smaller. So it stays the same height, but like gives him a little bit more of those cartoon features, and you never have to move the eyes. It will be very interesting. Yeah. Well, and the other thing that I just randomly thought of in Sonic Adventure 2, did you know that he was wearing soap shoes? Like that's why he could grind. No, and it became a huge thing. Shoes. Like he was like promoting soap shoes. I don't know why I just thought that has nothing to do with the president of the franchise. I read something that the buckles were inspired by Michael Jackson's. The buckles on his shoes. Yeah. No way. Yeah. So, I mean, there's a ton of like random little facts about Sonic. We went into this episode, as we do with a lot of ours, knowing that this is going to be a two-parter. Too much, yeah. And so we actually wanted to kind of do the second part of this as more of a video game, gameplay sort of deal. So look forward to that coming up. And then we also want to hear, shoot us an email, franchiseunpacked@gmail.com. What do you guys think about this Sonic movie coming up? And what do you guys want to see out of another game? If one of you guys has an awesome idea, send it to us and we'll post about it. Because I'd love to kind of get the discussion going on that. Yeah, what do you remember? I always loved, and we talked a little bit about music. There were some great songs I remember even from like the Genesis, the original games. They were just these really beautiful, even though he didn't have MIDI tracks basically, but like they were able to do some stuff that was above. It's funny. I'm going to wrap it up with saying this, sort of like watching something that was better than its rival and doing well and like really nailing it, to just drop miss the mark and completely fall from grace. Like truly They could not keep up with Mario.
And I want to see it do better because I love Sonic.
Oh, it deserves to.
Sonic.
And there's no other there are games where you run around and are fast, but if you've done really well, we can do it now. You can make a beautiful looking game and render it. You can absolutely do it.
Honestly, it could even be a racing game. Like picture Sonic in the place of one of these, race cars in Need for Speed or something like that. Like you
could run up walls and stuff while racing, through the city or the forest.
That'd be incredible.
That'd be awesome.
There are ways to do it. And I understand they've always been a little bit limited on resources, but I think that they can pull it off.
Regrettably, one of the biggest, most recent releases was the Sonic Jump mobile game. It had 11 million copies downloaded or something because it ironically does work best in that medium.
Yeah,
it's a side-scrolling jumper, platformer.
And there were some, not to double back, but there were some even Sonic Advance where that was side-scrolling. They didn't try to push beyond their boundaries. I think if they stick to what they know and stick to what they do best, they can make a great game again.
And really just focus on no glitches.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing. They need to put it through some better playtesting. But we want to hear what you guys have to think, so drop us a line. I think that's kind of it for today.
I think so.
So if you guys want to follow us on Instagram, it's at Franchise Unpacked.
Check out that mini episode that will be coming out next week. Pay attention to that probably on a Tuesday or Wednesday coming out next week. And you can check me out at the Dave of Wonders on Instagram.
Oh, I thought you were done. Yeah, that's my bad. And I'm at the Zach Rogers. So talk to us on there. Talk to us on the Franchise Unpacked.
Oh, one more thing. Soggy Boy has 10 followers.
Does he?
Yeah, he's already. He texted me earlier.
Is it just Soggy Boye?
Boye. Yeah.
That's
so
amazing.
befriend Soggy Boye.
That's
our
absolutely
previous
incredible.
guest, Mike Dan's.
We're gonna make it a thing. But
we're gonna make him famous.
Thank you guys so much for listening, and we'll be looking forward to seeing you next week.
Take care, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us, everybody. The next franchise we'll be unpacking is Half-Life. But in the meantime, feel free to drop us a line with any questions, comments, or future episodes at franchiseunpacked@gmail.com. Also, be sure to subscribe to us on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, and Spotify. And be sure to share so we can keep these episodes coming your way. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next time.